I am so glad I asked you guys for ideas. In the previous episode of Hermitcraft, I was really struggling with what to build up in that top section of my base, you know, that gap right there. And then I was reading through the comments and somebody suggested that I build up a dirt framework. And I have to say, it has worked beautifully, hasn't it? That has pulled the base together. It's a nice contrasting colour. You know, we haven't really used too much dirt in this build just yet. So I think it looks really, really good. I'm sure there's a decent number of people who are watching this video right now who are just falling back in their chairs. And there's probably a decent number who have already left. They're just like, you know what, no, I'm never watching Hermitcraft again. Now, the real reason why this dirt little framework here is in place is because I wanted to get a rough idea of how big the thing that is going up in this area is going to be. Because I was reading through the comments, and one of the comments that really caught my eye that I saw popping up occasionally, but I actually pinned the comment on the YouTube video, is the idea of a heart. A heart in the... I mean, that's perfect. I'm honestly embarrassed that I didn't think of it. It's a perfect thing to have in this area here. So it's going to be a heart suspended by chains, and it's going to be hanging in this space right here. Now, I have spent a lot of hours, so many hours, a lot of hours, a serious number of hours, trying to build up various different hearts. I saw a few suggestions that were posted online as well. The issue is that I really didn't want it to look too gruesome, you know, I didn't want to look like I was actually like chaining up a butcher's heart, and I didn't want it to be like a regular heart either, you know, kind of like Minecraft heart style. I didn't want to do anything like that. I wanted it to be an anatomically correct heart, but I didn't want it to look like a murder scene, you know. It was difficult, but I think I might have pulled it off. Let's pop into my redstone testing world. I'm genuinely quite excited to show you this. Boom. There it is. So I decided the way to get around it looking horrendously gory, like something out of a horror film, was to use something that obviously isn't meaty coloured. Because when I was building out of pink and red things, you know, it was looking very, very gruesome. So I decided to go with gold, and then also making use of the blackstone as well for the other sections of the heart. I studied a lot of heart pictures as well. So this, I mean, it's not bad as far as hearts in Minecraft go. This is not bad. It's been verified by Vicky. You know, she came in, I asked her, what does this look like? She said it looked like a heart, so that's good. I didn't tell her what to expect, and she said it looked like a heart, so that's fantastic. It looks heart-like from pretty much all angles that you look at it. Obviously, when you get further away, the pistons do start to do weird stuff. But that's not a big deal. I still think this is a very cool centerpiece to the base. So, let's start working on it then. Why cobble here is a very good question. Why cobble here? Why not cobble here? What is cobble? Where is here? Why am I here? Who am I to judge why the cobble is there? Maybe if the cobble could place signs, it would place a sign on me saying, why Mumbo here? Why are you here? That's genuinely not meant to be in reference to what I was just talking about. Where did he come from? So just to confirm, there's absolutely no better way to get blackstone. Am I right? No way to generate it or anything that I've completely missed out on? I think this is the best strategy and it scares me. Now, this definitely isn't the best strategy to get loads of yellow concrete, but I'm not actually making enough yellow concrete to justify using my machine, which is why I'm back in my pond. Now that I've gathered up all of the resources and things, I hope that should be enough. I mean, it's not a particularly big build. This is going to be more difficult to build than I thought. Because, yeah, it's quite fiddly. Let's see what happens. Progress is coming along well. Progress is coming along well. Progress is coming along nicely. I messed it up, didn't I? I was meant to say, well, I can read the comments right now. I know exactly what the comments are saying at this point in the video. You're all talking about my big axe, aren't you? Yeah, I know. It's on its way out. There's a high likelihood that I'm going to lose this thing. You know, I'm still going to forget, and it's still going to break. But I just want you to know that I have got my eye on it. I don't plan on losing it. But it's still likely that that's going to happen. I like to live life on the edge. I'm not going to repair this thing until it gets... There's no colour on the end of this bar. Oh, this is an exciting little bit of progress here. I do believe these are the first little arteries that I'm installing into this thing. There we go, poking out the sides. And if you're wondering how I'm actually constructing this and getting it exactly right block for block, I'm just doing it in layers. So I'm doing it in 2 high layers at a time. I'm just kind of going around in strips, and I'm matching it up with an account that I have open in my redstone world. It's quite a slow process, but it seems like the right way to do it. And clearly it was, because amazing, we're now done. Like, that caught me off guard. I genuinely didn't think we were finished, but I'm looking around the build and there's nothing else that I need to add. And I only had 3 blocks of gold left, so we had the perfect number of resources. Today is clearly my day. I mean, I'm saying that without actually looking at it. You know, I've seen it in the redstone testing world. It looks great in the redstone testing world. What if it looks awful in my base? That would be disappointing. How many hours would have been wasted? Right, here goes. I've just slept. So let's see. I'm going to fly out nice and far, and then we're going to get the spin around. Yes! That looks super cool. That is just the right size. That is fitted in perfectly. I was a little bit worried that it might be slightly wrong. Look how cool that looks. And now imagine it chained to the top. And also we're going to do a bunch more stuff up here to make this area a little bit more dramatic. I mean, this looks... That has tied the base together so nicely. From this angle, it might look like a little bit like an acorn, but that's fine, you know, because hearts can look like acorns. No, this is good. I was just about to remove the chariot, but then I spotted this thing. I always love the look of the grindstone robots. It looks like also, is this one of the heads that I beheaded the other day? Invitation. Dear Hermit, you are cordially invited to join the Upside Down, a new hip and happening place in the Nether. Literally all of humanity want to live there. Chords are 94 by -1871. Come over and build something. Stay a while. It would be cool if the builds are upside down, but they don't have to be. What if I build an upside down area in the upside down? Then I won't have to stress out about building something upside down because it will be the right way up, but it will be upside down in the upside out. No, maybe I'll go too far. That does sound like fun though. That definitely sounds like something I'll be interested in doing. Anyway, unfortunately the day has in fact come. It is time for the chariot to be removed. I can hear noises. Is there a parrot in the chariot? Oh my goodness. It's a pesky bird. Well, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this thing, but yes, sadly, the chariot's days are over. I'm sure we'll relocate him somewhere, but for the time being, he is going to be dispersed into many chests, which that's a nasty way to die. That's a horrible way to die. That sounds incredibly grim. Hear me out on this one, okay? This pesky bird right here is a Jedi in disguise. Alright? Let me prove it. I'm going to nudge him off the edge. Look. Alright? He is floating downwards. That looks... It's like something out of space. It's like he's an alien. Now, because the idea of the chariot being dispersed into many chests hurt my heart a little bit, I've created this shulker box. It's the DIY chariot. If we ever need another chariot, we know where to go. Anyway, with all that business taken care of, let's finish up the outside of the base, shall we? And it turns out there was quite a lot that I needed to do. I mean, first off, obviously, I needed to do all of the knobbly bits and everything. So I had to take out some blocks from the top section because I seem to have ruined this thing in, like, stages, in, like, tiers. And then, of course, I needed to do all of the leaf placements. And that's a fine art that I think I'm gradually getting. I've started to understand that I need to be a lot more bold with my leaf placement. I need to commit to it. You know, when you place down that first leaf, don't just place, like, 10 leaf blocks because then you kind of end up with, like, a small slither. You just need to go all out. As soon as you have an overgrown area, you turn that into like a fully spreading overgrown area that really stretches out, branches off into various areas of the build. And then, of course, I needed to add in all of the fence posts, which it turns out I had barely any fence posts throughout all of the other sections of the build. So that took multiple hours and tons upon tons of wood. But it's done. It's looking good. The chains connecting up the heart, making use of the stone... grindstone things, looks really cool, mixed in with the regular chains as well. I mean, it's come together so nicely. And at the risk of blowing my own trumpet here, I'm very proud of myself. I mean, look at that. The sun was setting, but BOO's online, so he doesn't allow it to set for very long. But the sun was setting. Now the sun's rising. Check it out. So we've got the heart hanging from the center. We've got all of the ruination. I mean, this is now starting to look like a solid build. Look, we've got the top. We actually have a top to this thing. As much as I miss the chariot, I do actually think that's an improvement. I mean, it just looks so cool, doesn't it? But we are still far from completion. This is a mega build, which means there's a mega amount of things that we need to do, you know, and this area here is currently not looking so good. A lot of people have referred to it as a golf course. You know, it's been referred to as a pool table. It does look very smooth. And it doesn't really fit in with everything else we've got going on. Same thing goes for this area down here. So I guess, once again, I'm going to have to just take some inspiration from Mr. Scar, Mr. Panda Man. And I'm going to have to... Yeah, I mean, look at this. It's... Oh, my God. I just... I can't compete with someone who builds things like this. How can I compete with someone who thinks to build small mushrooms? How can... What's the point of me even trying? I'm going to go to bed. Okay, I'm going to think about building and reflect on how much I need to improve. I need to learn from Scar. I've gone to bed and I've woken up with a genius idea. I don't have to be good at building if I don't build. So I'm going to stick with what I know. I'm just going to do the redstone bits for now. I got to say, doing this in creative mode is a lot easier than doing it in survival mode, simply because I have to make sure I catch all of the items that fall. If I don't catch any of the items that fall, then I'm going to run into some serious problems. Right, so I need to... Okay, that needs a piston. And then we need pistons behind... all of these as well. Please don't fall off the edge. But that should be one side all fully pistoned up. And I will just say, unfortunately, if this does cause a lot of lag on the server with all of those blocks moving and lighting updates and things, it might be one of those things that we only temporarily turn on. You know, it might not be running all of the time. I do seem to be getting a lot faster at building it though. I have just finished up number 2, starting up number 3. Hopefully we should be able to speed through the rest. I don't believe it. I've managed to do this entire build without dropping a single block, and then on the last, literally the last one, I've lost one. And I'm honestly not... Where has it gone? Ah! Yes! I didn't! If anything, though, that is actually slightly more embarrassing that I didn't drop one, but I acted as if I had dropped one. Anyway, the heart is done. All of the pistons are in place. Now I need to link up all of the redstone lines, which is a nightmare, because obviously they're all right next to one another, so you have to be quite precise. Alright, maybe precise wasn't the right choice of words, but you just have to make sure that there's no bud powering going on, there's no weird quasi-connectivity-ness, and you have to make sure that every single piston gets powered, whilst also making it actually possible to build. It took quite a long time to design this circuit, even though it does just look like I've spammed redstone everywhere. Here goes. How many people are online? Okay, I'll watch out for any messages about sudden spikes in lag. Alright. Okay, the heart should now be beating. I mean, that is quite cool, isn't it? And it doesn't actually seem to be causing too many struggles. It definitely hits the frames per second when it fires. But I mean, I gotta say, it looks so cool. I'm happy to play with a slight slideshow to have an actual beating heart in the center of my base. I mean, this is wild. I wonder how it looks from all the way back here. Oh, so it does that. You can actually see the pistons moving this far back. I kind of assumed that you might not actually get it, but no, that is... We've got a beating heart in our base. That is so ridiculous. Thank you to everyone down in the comment section who suggested this idea. It's absolutely fantastic. It's the best thing we could have done. Imagine if I'd had heads. Or, I mean, crystals wasn't so bad, but originally I was thinking I'd have a head up there. Imagine, this is a cool looking base, and I kind of would have ruined it by doing that, whereas this, that looks wicked. Anyway, we are nowhere near finished with this thing. We have got a bunch of terraforming and stuff like that to do up in this area. I've been putting it off, okay, but it has to be done. And my FPS is really struggling because of that heart, isn't it? It really is. Ah, that could be a problem. So here's what I'm thinking. We have an indent underneath where the heart is, and then the ground comes up like this, and then gradually trickles off to the edges. So it would be like a mound going up in the center, and then folding inwards down in the middle. I mean, I think that will look cool. I'm putting a lot of faith in the fact that it will look cool, because I've just fully committed to building it, to be honest with you. As you can see, we have got our mound, we've got our central section, we've got everything running off the edges. I mean... This is also one of those things that is going to look very bad until we start putting all of the ruination on it. Like pretty much everything in this base, to be honest with you. Everything's looked awful until we've ruined it, and then it looks good. And I really do hope that's the case for this thing, because it does currently look awful. It really does look bad. But, I mean, I'm just gonna keep going with it. First port of call in the Mumbo Jumbo School of Ruination is bone meal. Bone meal hides any number of just atrocities, basically. So if we can just get some bone meal in here. What is Ren doing, by the way? Because every single clip I've recorded so far is join the game and then wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Go on, leave the game, please. Ah, no, he just said hi. Already looking better. It's already looking better. It's looking so much better already. That is impressive. That actually looks quite cool already. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, that's quite a big oh dear. I just went through another portal and got blown to bits. Like instantly. I mean... Oh my goodness, there's more. Ah! I'm gonna die again. This is a problem. Oh my goodness. Where Where are they all coming from? Where are they all coming from? Seriously? What has happened? Oh. Oh, it's really dark around my portal, isn't it? I think there is a chance that these are all mobs from around my portal. Okay, maybe I should light up that area then. Things are coming together. Things are coming together. It's looking cool. I've got some leaves. I've got some rocks in place. I'm doing a little bit of path action as well. I'm really pulling out all the stops in this space here. And it is working. I do actually quite enjoy terraforming, I'm going to be honest. We're a couple hours into the process now, and things are looking good. I thought I'd chuck some bamboo about, so I'm going to be interested to see how that looks. I am going to limit the height of it, though, by using string, because I think that will really help. But, I mean, just, I've got a beaming smile on my face, because look at the difference! It's crazy how much of a difference that has made. It is actually crazy how different it looks. Why didn't I do this from the start? Seriously. Oh, and in case you hadn't noticed, yeah, I've turned off the heart for the time being. I've come up with a new thing that we can do that's redstone-y, and I actually think it could be potentially better. Doing this has really made me realise how time-consuming, how ridiculously time-consuming Scar's terraforming projects are. Like, he is... I don't know how he does it. He must have more hours in his day than I do. Because... this is so difficult. We are on the home straight now, though. I am on the final section of this thing, just getting everything all done and dusted. And I've got to say, even though it is taking a long time, I am enjoying it. I'm finding it incredibly fun. I'm finding it incredibly satisfying, therapeutic. I can understand why people like gardening in real life, because gardening in Minecraft is actually quite fun. So, I'm about to do my first proper spin around with it all completed, and that is... oh my goodness, that has made all the difference. Look at that! That looks so cool! Okay. Okay. Chuffed, chuffed, chuffed. We still need to do it in that section and all of these sections as well. And I've left this area open because I think there's going to be redstone running up into the hearts. We'll have to wait and see on that one, but I am over the moon. Like, I am genuinely over the moon. I've got a beaming smile on my face right now. Honestly, I really want to keep working on the base, but... I have a live stream to do with this gal. I'm going to do some end busting. So I'll catch you guys in a bit. One live stream later. We have got tons upon tons of cool... I mean, look how many elytras I now have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 spare elytras. That is bonkers. But the reason I went end busting with this gal is because I needed to gather up a bunch of shulker shells for his hedge games, so that he can be fully set up and get his 1 million leaf blocks. He needs 1 million leaf blocks. I mean, I know his tree is a ridiculous project, but 1 million... I don't even think he realises yet that he has to place 1 million leaves. Not only does he have to gather them, he has to place them as well. Anyway, I think to wrap things up today, it's time for a little bit of extra base ruining. Now, I'll be honest, I actually wasn't planning on doing this. I was totally planning on doing all the redstone on the inside of the heart, but I think for the first time in my entire life, I actually wanted to terraform more than I wanted to do redstone. I'm a changed man. I mean, seriously though, I'm loving doing the terraforming on this build. I mean, I've loved the ruining process, and I've definitely loved the process of learning how to build in this way because, you know, as I mentioned about 1 million times now, I'm not a natural builder. It's not something that really comes naturally to me. I kind of have to really work at it, and I'm really enjoying learning all of these new techniques and ways to make builds look cool. And the whole process of the terraforming, you know, terraforming is something that I kind of knew how to do very roughly, but I've gradually gotten better and better over time, and I'm loving it at the minute. I'm seriously loving it. And I do just want to extend a massive thank you to Iskal for initially getting me interested in terraforming, and then obviously Scar for just being someone who puts out great examples of it on the Hermitcraft server, things that I can take inspiration from, because it's cool. And it's so fun learning new skills. It really, really is. Let's take a look at what I've done then. You know, because I must admit, I'm quite proud. I really don't want to sound like I'm blowing my own trumpet here, but I am pleased. You know, I've done this quite a bit throughout today's Hermitcraft episode, but look at that. Look at that. Oh, it's made such a difference, hasn't it? I did not expect it to make a difference as much as it has. I really truthfully didn't. I kind of thought, you know what? I was kind of considering not even doing it. I was considering leaving them flat and like completely just plain. So glad that I didn't. So glad that I didn't, because that would have looked naff. That would look really, really bad. It has helped so much in completing the base. And you know what? The base is now complete. That's just dawned on me. This thing's now done. Apart from the big platform at the bottom, the massive amount of terraforming that I've got to do down at the bottom there, this thing's now finished. My base is completed. The outside of my base is completed. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. That's been a long process. But it's looking wild. I'm super chuffed. I hope that you've enjoyed the process. It's been a lot of fun. There's obviously a monumentous moment. And yeah, I'm pleased. I'm also tired. It's been a long day. See you later. I'm not sure if you can hear the cool hum of my... you know what? I'm not going to talk about my air conditioning again. Oh, I just can't help but mention it. It's honestly been life-changing. I can understand why all the people were blasting it down in the comment section being like, how can you live without air conditioning? It's a good question. I should be an air conditioning salesman. I wonder if I can get an affiliate link. A sponsor.